So last week I had the ambition to go out on the trail and do a little field test and do some cooking. And one of the things I wanted to do was kind of cobble together a bread recipe and see if I could make bread on the trail because I mean, I like bread. You don't get this fat without liking bread and pasta and all that other good stuff. Getting back to it, I said I was going to use parchment paper as a liner. This stuff is light, it's versatile. It folds up really nice. If you do plan on doing any kind of baking, I would recommend it highly because baking on a trail is something that is relatively tricky. Now for the Keith titanium, I'm going to want the water just below where this pot would be. So we have that ready to accept the dough. This one I'm going to be a little bit more liberal with the water. Again, I'm not measuring the water necessarily. I'm just adding what I think would be enough. I'm going to section off about half the bread in the bag and just squeeze it down in. Now I'm trying to avoid contact with my hands. When I'm in my kitchen, I don't worry about it so much. But when I'm in the field, even when I try to maintain a high degree of hygiene, I tend to have dirty hands. So I don't like to touch my food directly in the field. And I'm going to mirror that action here at home. All right. I can see dry parts. Maybe I'll use my phone to get a shot of that and then kind of overlay it. Right, so we got it in the 1600 milliliter and 800 milliliter pot combination. So the chemistry of the yeast respiration is something that's fascinating and should be known by everybody. Krebs cycle, citric acid cycle, respiration, whatever you want to call it. But when the yeast respirates, just like us, it takes in oxygen and releases carbon dioxide. Now, when it metabolizes the sugar, however, and this is the foundation of most of society, it creates alcohol. When it does it inside of flour, that carbon dioxide and that slight bit of alcohol is what makes bread. So yeast is literally the foundation of society. All right, so we're off to a start and we'll see where it goes from there. It's going to be interesting to see how this turned out. Woo. And at the 33-minute mark, my compulsion to check the inside here has overcome me. We have a golden brown color, red, and we'll take a taste. It's not bad. It definitely has a sponginess to it. I can attribute the browning to the baking soda. It almost has a pretzel taste from the amount of salt and baking soda that I added. Again, that's how you make pretzels, by the way. You'll boil a solution, quarter cup to a gallon of baking soda. So a quarter cup to 4 quarts of water, and you'll have a solution, and you get that to a boil. And then you'll dip your dough down inside of it and leave it there for about 20 to 30 seconds. And then take it out, form your pretzel, bake it. And that's how you make pretzel bread. So this is almost coming out like a pretzel bread. With butter, that would be fantastic. The sponginess of it, if you were to let it sit a little bit longer, it would tack up. but it is definitely moist on the inside, especially coming out fresh. I'm kind of impressed. This may not be the best method of baking bread in the field, but it is definitely a method that will work. Let's take a look. And another thing I forgot to mention, save your parchment paper. I mean, your pan's going to be easy enough to clean out. You know, it's not too difficult. A little bit of water in here. I mean, just mechanical scraping. If you carry some kind of abrasive sponge with you, it wouldn't take anything to clean that out. But you can actually reuse this parchment paper 3, even 4 times. Especially now that you got it properly sized. Waste not, want not.